Welcome to the Money Over 50 podcast, brought to you by Dallas Davison and Michael Hogue from Money Over 50 Financial Advisors. This information is general in nature and does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Therefore, you should consider whether the information is appropriate for you and your personal circumstances. If you require personal advice, please contact Money Over 50 Financial Advisors. Here are your hosts, Dallas Davison and Michael Hogue.
Welcome to Money Over 50. Today's topic, you can't eat salad to guarantee a healthy life. Michael, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I had a conversation with a client some time ago, and again, this person's a very intelligent person, and the questions that came up were certainly, I think, valid ones. But the conversation went along the lines of guarantee me that I won't run out of money in retirement, and guarantee me that if I want to do this, that I can do this, which would spend a lot of money on buying a house, or if I needed to do this, if I needed to spend extra money every year on travel, can you guarantee me that all that can be done and I won't run out of money? And I said, well, I can't. Yeah. I actually can't guarantee that. No. And there's so many variables that go into someone's retirement. The analogy that I've thought of really is that it's a little bit like eating salad and eating a good diet. Yeah. Look, it gives you the best possible chance of a healthy life.
Yes.
But it can't guarantee you
anything.
Will live to 100.
No.
You know what I mean? There's just so many variables at play.
Yep.
Which is, depending on how you look at it, it could be worrying or it could be liberating.
I was just about to say that. You can either approach that with a nihilistic view of, well, then what's the point? Why don't I just eat cheeseburgers all day, every day? Which is, I would say, the sort of the childish, short-sighted response to that. Or you look at it as liberating, and that's exactly the word that I use, and I think that most people have, which is that I think that fundamentally what goes on is that there is a, when it comes to money, because it's dollars and cents, people do approach it as a thing that it's a pass-fail, and that may well be truer. It's truer about money than it is about a lot of other things. But the health analogy is probably a brilliant one, because we all know, we all have stories of people who smoked a pack a day and lived until they were 100, or the people that ate nothing but all the healthy stuff and were at 8% body fat and passed away of a heart attack when they were 54. Like, we all know those extreme stories, but no one hears that story and goes, so the lesson to be learnt from that is just smoke a pack a day. No one looks at the pack a day smoker who lives to 100 and goes, the lesson that I'll learn from that is to smoke a pack a day.
No.
We understand that there are outliers in all those all those things. When it comes to our health, we understand that it's a complex system and that there are many inputs involved, and then there is just a component of bad luck. So we can control all those inputs, but the healthiest person in the world who takes the best care of themselves can still walk out the front door and get hit by a drunk driver, and that is through no fault of their own, through nothing that they could have done about that. The answer to that is probably similar, because the only way to guarantee that nothing like that will happen to you is to never leave the house, or to live in such a way that you never have any scope that anything like that will happen to you. And I think that's, I'm sure that would have been your response to the guarantee question, which is the only way that we can guarantee that is for you to never retire, is for you to just continue to accumulate more money and more money and more money until you die. And that's the only way we'll know that you're not going to run out of money is if you keep accumulating more and more and more and more and more until you die. Because the minute that we start going back the other way, or you stop working, you stop accumulating more, by its nature, we are running a risk that you will actually chew into that money, or something will happen to you. But even as I say that, I'm disagreeing with myself, because even if you said that my plan is, I just want that certainty, so I will work until the day I die. Something could happen. Your health could change. Something goes wrong. You get sacked. Your role or your type of work is no longer relevant in 30 years. Yeah. There is still in the world that we live in, it's such a complex system that there are no guarantees in anything. And the sooner that we come to the acceptance and realization of that fact, the sooner we'll be liberated from those fears.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And it was a great conversation to have, because I'd never considered, and I said to my client, I said, we may have implied in the past when we have had this discussion that there was some sort of guarantee.
Yeah. And
there's so many variables. I mean, there's the variables of what income you might need, when you might need it, if you need money in a hurry, the variability of rates of return in the short term, or year to year or month to month. There's legislation, potential for legislation to change. There's quite a few different and this person is still working as well. So the variability of actually when do you retire? What I said to my client, I said, what our value is, we believe in your situation, amongst other things, is to wrap all of that up. And work out when we think it's in your best interest to retire, based on what you've been telling us that you want to do in your retirement, knowing that you've more than likely got enough money at that point in time. Is there a guarantee? No, there's not. No. There's no guarantee. Again, sort of akin to going into your doctor and saying, can you give me a diet that guarantees
me to live to 100?
That I'll live to 100. Look, there just isn't that. No. Isn't that? You can do everything in your within your power to give yourself the best chance of that. There just aren't those guarantees, which I think is liberating.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm reminded of a story about Floyd Money Mayweather. Some would say the greatest boxer, of all time, who has now, I think, retired. Sometimes comes back out. 50-0, so 50 wins, no losses. And I remember reading a story about someone who was, some other celebrity who'd met him and went out. He was warming up, getting ready for a fight, and the celebrity's gone at the back to talk to him, and they were sort of really mindful that this is a big occasion, it's a big deal, it's this huge fight, and I don't want to take up too much of his time or distract him or whatever. So, sort of made a bit of small talk and then tried to, okay, I'll be on my way now. I'll talk to you later. And he was sort of going, no, it's all right. Hang around, have a seat. How have you been? How's the family? How, all these sorts of things. And the guy kept trying to get up. Okay, I'll leave it with you. And eventually, Floyd Mayweather basically made the comment of, listen, I'm about to go into the ring and fight this guy. I've either done everything I can to prepare, or I haven't. That's too late. I can't train right now. No. There's nothing I can do there. I've either done all the work that I can to prepare myself as well as I can, and then we're about to go out here, and he's either going to be better than me or he's not. Either he's going to knock me out or I'm going to knock him out. And there's nothing I can do about that either. All I can do is put myself in the best possible position with my preparation, and then put in the best possible performance I can. Whatever happens off the back of that, there is just nothing that I can do right now that will change that, or that can be done about that. And I think that's the analogy that I'd use there, is that your approach to retirement planning and as an advisor, your approach to dealing with this with your clients is similar to that, which is that you can only do the best preparation possible, and you can only do what you can to give people the highest likelihood of success possible, and whatever success means to them, and however that is defined with that individual. But there are no guarantees. There is no way that the boxing trainer can go, well, I'm going to train my boxer and guarantee them that they won't ever lose a fight. It's just not how life works. And I think everyone, if you look at it as any other industry, any other profession, any other area of life, when you're raising your kids, you do everything that you possibly can with your kids to try and give them the best chance of being happy, fulfilled, productive, constructive members of the world we live in. and you try and you think as much as you can about what's going to be best and how to do that, and and then the scary thing is that you sort of have to accept that at some stage they're their own person and they're going to go and make their own choice and they're going to do their own thing, and things can happen that are outside of your control and theirs. So I think that you're right. There's something about that word guarantee that we live in a world that change is the only constant. We know deep down that there is no guarantee. There's no nothing that can guarantee anything, and yet we want to grasp onto that word. We want that guarantee. We really want that certainty at all times. And I think that's, as I say, for me the key takeaway is that conversation can either be terribly frightening for people. So when you say there are no guarantees, they either go, flip the table, I'll walk out the door. What's the point? I'm just going to go to the casino and blow all my money because there's no guarantees. Or they go, okay, well, I'll do everything I can to put myself in the best position. I'll do within reason all the things that I can do to increase my likelihood of a good life. But I'll just go to sleep at night knowing that whatever comes is what comes, and I've done what I can to prepare for that, and there's nothing more that I can gain by stressing and worrying more and grasping onto that guarantee.
So as listeners, I think that's a good summary there, Dallas. If you have a think about that and decide which camp that you're in, I think it can be I think it can be liberating. I think it's liberating. I think you do everything you can to prepare yourself the best.
Yeah.
And it's always as per your available resources as well. So you don't need to get fixated on someone else's retirement.
No. And
if you can't get to that level that they need to be at, then you just can't per your available resources. So
it's really interesting.
You can only do what you can do.
We've had that conversation before about how sometimes in our first meetings or first discussions with clients, you sort of go, they'll make some comment about, my next door neighbour's doing this, or they said they need this much. You go, well, maybe that is the case, but for you, that's not feasible. You can't do that. You're not in a position. It's just not practical. It's amazing how that's a sense of relief to people, because they're then going, it's not that I'm a bad person because I'm not doing what they can do, or it's not, there's nothing like that. It's that relief of, okay, well, I know that I'm not guaranteed the result that they're guaranteed, but I know what I can and can't control. I'm going to work on those things that I can.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Money Over 50 podcast with Money Over 50 financial advisors. For more information and resources, visit the Money Over 50 website, mo50.com.au. We look forward to catching up again soon.